Hey everybody, HarlequinCoHO here, and I've got a cool little 1v1 for you today. This was a replay submission by Aftersheepy, and I really liked his description of it and just thought I'd go ahead and cast it because it's a pretty fun game. So here's the background behind this game. We're going to see his opponent down here is I spams, and this is like a modest, moderate level game. I believe Aftersheepy is top 10%, so this is kind of just like a standard ladder game. And the story he said was that he had just finished watching the Mannerheim versus Stefanh H game. If you haven't already seen that, I'll post a link to it or something. It's a great 1v1, really brutal forward racks rushing by the German player. And so having just seen that replay, Aftersheepy said, hey, I really wanted to go out and play a game. He went out, played a game, got the exact same map, and got matched up against an infantry commander. And so he thought, hell, I'll try it. So here I am. I'm just going to go ahead and root for the HarlequinCoHO fans out there submitting me some replays. So we'll see that he goes ahead and just jumps right into this build order. So right away, let's take a look and see his cap points. Now, one thing he did a little differently, we saw in the fast racks replay earlier, the German player, the positions were reversed, but I'll talk about it analogously. First engineer came out and capped this far disconnected point. Second engineer capped this point, and he kind of capped the whole place at once. That worked pretty well. But, he just went ahead, Aftersheepy just went ahead and capped them each in order. We can see, by the way, he does have rifles for his engineers as well as increased squad health. And here we go, having just connected up his territory, which worked absolutely fine, he's going to go ahead and throw up a forward racks. Forward racks against an infantry player. So we'll take a look at his abilities while we're waiting for all this to finish. Just kind of capping some of the ancillary positions and that sort of thing. He does have infantry pillage, and he's got that quite leveled. Flares, stormtroopers, manpower blitz, and heavy armor support. Let's take a quick look at his opponent, I Spams. And I Spams is an infantry commander. He's got heroic charge, forward barracks, artillery strike, and off-map reinforcements. He went ahead and got a barracks up right away, and got a single rifleman squad and a second rifleman squad. So here comes a little bit of skirmishing going on here. Looks like this rifleman squad, by the way, had the standard accuracy, armor, and sight range upgrades. And we'll see that this forward racks is good to go. And his forward racks is not quite leveled. He does have it at level 2, but he's definitely not starting with the forward racks or anything like that. So now we're going to see the same sort of game, except for in the hands of just normal viewers. And what do they do? And how can they use the strategies that we've already seen the pros using? And that's exactly where we're going with this. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to Aftersheepy. We do have the skilled rifleman moving up here. And meanwhile, just a lot of shooting going on, kind of trapping these riflemen in this house. You've got the heavy green cover here for the Volksgrenadiers. You can see Volksgrenadiers have the cheaper MP40s, accuracy by 6%, squad health by 16, and 30% reinforcement cost reduction, which is really good if you're going to be having an infantry-heavy battle standing next to your building. So you can see he's already resupplying. Here comes a second Volksgrenadier out there. Hopefully these guys are resupplying. Yes, there they go. Taking casualties and resupplying, no problems here. And just starting this off with a big nasty infantry war here. So we've got skilled riflemen here, and these advanced defense engineers, in the face of all adversity, are going to sit down here and throw a bunker down, a machine gun emplacement. See one of them taking casualties. I get all my engineer units confused. I believe advanced defense engineers can build faster. They can build defensive structures faster, and I think they take less damage while constructing. But those guys are level 5 anyway, so they're doing their thing. Getting in, getting out, repairing it, hopefully, and now taking some shots. Now, right away, I'm going to criticize this because they are repairing it. That's good. This is just a little bit too far up for me, and maybe this is just me having hindsight or me knowing the whole map position, but back here would be a perfect place for that. It wouldn't really encroach on the field of fire at all. You'd have a tree next to you on one side defending you a little bit, just a little bit of extra cover there, whereas this, you can see, Aftersheepy really well aware of the kind of vulnerabilities of this. He just sneaks right on by while this thing is firing kind of pointlessly at this building. And now he's got a great flanking position. So always good to be aware of the kind of situation like that. Oh, okay, you're going to put up a thing? No problem, I'll just sneak right past it. And now he's just absolutely exposing this. So if you are going to go for this kind of a position, make sure you've got infantry, holding down the fort over here or something, because the left flank for this machine gun placement really exposed out there. So lots of just shooting going on here. We've got two Volks squads and 3 engineers at the moment. we'll see that he went ahead and upgraded his headquarters, and he's going to throw down a Krieg barracks, which is where the rest of his money's going right now. This advanced defense engineer needs to get out of there. He's just sitting here gonna die. Not taking too much fire here. Kind of exchanging some shots. Meanwhile, this machine gun emplacement, though, is definitely near its last moments. Oh, the engineers die. Always a bad mistake there. So maybe his opponent could be a little bit of a newbie there, but never just leave, especially hero units, never just leave them there to die. Going to take out this machine gun now, definitely. This poor gentleman cannot get out. He's reloading in vain, and oh, there he goes, dying with the rest of everything. And now occupying these buildings. Good, solid center control. Nobody's taken care of this cap point yet, but you can see that it looks like Aftersheepy's in a good position here. So reinforcements coming up on the left. A little bit of poking around in the middle. Not too much going on now for his opponent, iSpams. Looks like iSpams is kind of just running out of stuff to do. He's just kind of occupying this building and exchanging fire. And now I really like this. I half really like this. First off, this bunker is facing the wrong way, which tells me he probably doesn't care which way it's facing, because this is probably going to become a medic bunker. I still think it's always a good habit just to point it the right direction, you know, at least point it in a useful direction in case you jump in there for cover at some point, because everything goes to hell. But, you know, maybe he's just building it in a hurry and just slapped it down. So, I don't think that's too bad. Meanwhile, everybody's just firing away. Look at these guys all lined up in the windows, taking their shots. And a little bit of skirmishing. So now, strong central control. Flame engineers, this is really good. If you've got a lot of people kind of, you know, hanging around in here, do you want to kind of get them all out? This is all heavy cover, so pretty much anybody walking around in this area while it's, you know, all up and functional like that is going to be taking extra damage from fire. So fire, good move there. And these riflemen are just continuing to peck away at anybody. You know, good supporting fire. It's really amazing the amount of detail that Relic put into fighting within buildings and throwing grenades within buildings. There's an incredible amount. You know, it's not just like, you know, in some other games you get into, you were either in or out of the building. Where in this, it's all on which way you're facing and how many walls there are and all this sort of stuff. You know, you throw a grenade in a building and sometimes it does no damage because it lands in a room that doesn't have a door on the right side of it. You know, there's all this, like, structural element that goes into how damage works within buildings, and it's surprisingly detailed. Here we have a little bit of fighting going on. The Pioneers unable to cap this field point. These riflemen are just kind of putting pressure here, and I hope he gets these engineers out of the building. It looks like everybody's just going to pile into the building, and you can see that the medics are beginning to do their thing, just picking up bodies. And if you're going to be kind of just spamming out the Vokes at the very beginning, this is a wonderful, wonderful idea. You know, anybody who's going for a Vokes heavy army early on, and I love this. So, like I said, Aftersheepy just was really, you know, really inspired by the Mannerheim game and decided he wanted to try that on this map, and was lucky enough to get the same matchup. And so now we see him going for the exact same strategy. So I'm rooting for the HarlequinCoHO fans out there, trying this stuff, putting it to good use. You can see he knows that he's got a bit of an infantry standoff here, so he does what he saw in the replay exactly, which is get a mortar team out, stick it behind your forward racks, and do your thing. And luckily, though, this time iSpams has the right idea. Probably one of the biggest criticisms I heard of I'm blanking out here, of Stefanh H during that game was that he did not have enough weapon support center units, and that his own mortars or his own machine guns would have really, really made it a lot easier to take care of the middle. So this time we do actually have a weapon support center out for iSpam, so we're going to be seeing him kind of using those units. I believe that was a skilled mortar team. Looked like maybe it was level, I don't know, I can't see it anymore. I don't think it was level 5. Level 3, maybe? See if my memory serves me correctly. Anyhow, so the Pioneers out here capping. And I like this move, by the way. You just saw a huge retreat. So why come up here and cap this, and then come and cap this one? Because by the time you get here, the enemy will probably have reinforced and be on their way back. So get the further away one first, and then if you have time, get the one closest to your base. But either way, you're more likely to be able to hold on to this one if you get it right off the bat. So reinforcing, big huge blob here, defense engineers in the middle of all that, and our level 3 skilled mortar team is moving back out to the front. Meanwhile, we still have just a regular old mortar team doing its thing. Looks like they are shelling away at something. I hear shells landing everywhere. What are they firing at? I just hear like little shell sounds. Are they shelling up here, maybe? Looks like there's a lot of explosions up there. Yeah, maybe they had just the last of a bombardment or something up there. Anyhow, doesn't really matter. Poking around. We'll see Kampfkraft Center is going up, so likely going to start seeing some infantry upgrades there. And we even have a pack out, which was produced from this forward barracks here. Now, Here's a good exercise. So you have a huge blob. Your enemy has mass retreated and is now mass reinforcing. Now note the medic station. That's okay. It's a little far back, but it's a pretty good idea. Huge blob coming up on the right-hand side where you basically have no defenses. You've pretty much focused all of your attention on this little pass here and on fighting to the death in this little intersection. So this is kind of a new direction. So what do you do? How do you react? How do you move your units around? That's kind of what I was looking at here. I like that he's got the barbed wire just to kind of restrict the movement a little bit more. And looks like the engineers were maybe sneaking up there, but he puts a little bit of pressure on them and fires off the infantry pillage. So infantry pillage going crazy here. Looks like some mortar shots are landing back here. Hard to tell if that's friend or foe. Probably it's the enemy. Finally getting some money back here. Oh, wonderful looking mortar shot landing in the middle of all of that. And infantry pillage just kind of going away like crazy here. You can see he's getting healed a little bit by that. Infantry pillage, he's leveled it to heal his units whenever they do pillage. And the last gentleman running away. Oh, overextended a little too much, loses that whole squad. But it's okay. There's plenty. That looks like an entire squad of engineers right there on the floor.